Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to episode 40 of All the Gear But No Idea. Rhodey, we've made it, the 40th episode. How are you, mate?
Big number 40.
It's not quite raised the bat.
The doubters didn't think we'd make it this far.
But we're on track to raise the bat at least half a tonne.
So that'll be
next year.
Yeah. February next year, March next year.
Yes. Anyway, Rhodey, we've got a big guest this week. Caleb Murray runs the Fishing in the Dark YouTube and Facebook page and is an absolute inspiring story. We look forward to speaking to him later.
Yes, he's a local blind man who fishes and shares his story on YouTube.
Yes.
And does very well for himself.
He does, absolutely. All right, Rhodey, let's get stuck into the episode today and let's start with our usual oranges and lemons of the fortnight that's been. And I'm just going to kick us right off with something we very rarely talk about, which is the weather.
And I've never heard that. It's normally an orange. It's normally a lemon, actually, isn't it?
But I'm just going to say that I feel like this last week or so, we've had a few warmer days. I just feel like we're on the verge of the weather turning. I know we're still getting a few bad days, and it has been disappointing that the weather hasn't lined up for the weekends when most of us can get out, get fishing, enjoy the outdoors. But I just feel like we're getting close.
I actually nearly had the lemon as the weather not lining up with the weekend. So you've got on a different... You're a bit more positive.
I'm glass half full. What's your orange, mate?
My orange is the 4-week countdown to the trip to Streaky Bay.
You've got one of those countdowns on your laptop or something, so every day you look at it, you go, oh, one more day.
Very much distracts me from work.
We love that.
So we're going to Streaky Bay, Port Lincoln at the end of October.
Yes.
Also getting over to the York Peninsula on the long weekend in early October.
Mm-hmm.
And the Port Augusta Kingies are close.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that basically the next couple of months are looking very fishy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm optimistic.
Absolutely, and we can't wait to getting stuck into it. But on a sour note, let's talk about the lemons. Rhodey, I'll let you have the first one.
I'm going to go straight. I'm avoiding something, but you can touch on that. Masks.
Oh.
Haven't we overdone
them? Masks are not comfortable.
They're fully bringing me down.
You're becoming an anti-masker.
I'm on the vaccination train. I'm fully vaxxed.
You're a vaxxer?
But I'm a fully anti-masker.
You're a vaxxer but an anti-masker.
Chuck the masks on when they're necessary. We haven't had COVID for bloody 10 weeks.
Okay.
Stephen Marshall, we don't need masks.
Okay, big call. I'm sure Stephen Marshall does dial in every fortnight.
I thought he did. That's why I thought I'd mention it.
So you've really called him out there. We'll see. It might make the news. Right, Rhodey, my lemon. It's not a good one. In fact, it might be the darkest lemon that we've had in all 40 episodes.
That is the idea of a lemon.
Actually, though, well, it's worse than the last prelim, but Port losing in the fashion that they did, I certainly didn't sort of have any firm plans to go across to Perth, but...
We had at least soft plans.
We definitely had soft plans to make the trek. At one point, we said we'd ride our bike across the Nullarbor if we had to get there. Dan Way would have joined us.
Very, very sad night.
Absolute shocker.
And on a little spin-off from that lemon...
Yeah.
Also here, sad to hear friend of the show, Hamish Hartlett.
Yes, good point.
Ending his time at the Power.
Yes, yep.
Might go somewhere else.
Yeah, might go somewhere else. If he doesn't, we'll look forward to seeing what he gets up to in the fishing space, because if he's got a bit more spare time on his hands, I reckon he'll get out on the boat more often.
Or alternatively, he could be a bit of an interstate correspondent.
He could be.
If he continues his career elsewhere.
Yes, well, we wish him all the best one way or another, and we'll be sure to keep in touch.
Yes, we will. Now, Diz, let's keep moving, because this is a absolute jam-packed news segment.
It is. So we're just going to touch on that. We're going to touch on the big ones here, Rhodey, aren't we? There's been a lot of news that's been breaking.
PIRSA's been busy.
PIRSA has been extremely busy. So kick us off with some news around the aquaculture industry in South Australia reaching some new heights.
So they've talked about the SA aquaculture industry has grown to $229 million. That sounds like a lot to me.
It does.
It is estimated more than 1,000 full-time equivalent roles with 1,500 flow-on jobs. And that's an increase of about 5% from the 2018-2019 season. So they're talking about it's testament to those working in the sector, and it has been they've had some challenging times.
They have.
And it's great. David Basham has mentioned that 70% of these jobs are in regional South Australia.
Yep.
So that's really good.
Yeah,
Southern bluefin tuna is the largest single aquaculture sector, and that accounts for 60% or 137 mil of that allowance. The other four main sectors are the marine finfish, the oysters, and the abalone.
Yeah.
So all of them are on the rise, basically, Diz.
Which is good news.
Yeah, certainly, mate, definitely.
It's good news. It's great news.
So the gross value of production across all fisheries in 2019-2020 was 240 million, so it's increasing 46 mil from the previous year.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it does. There's been some obvious.
Oh, sorry, that's a decrease.
That's
of
right.
40. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Did I say that right? I did.
No, that's okay. But it's basically, we're seeing an increase, generally speaking, across the board, aren't we? In terms of jobs and
more jobs, but less income in the last financial year.
Well, that would be
relating, you would assume, largely to COVID.
Yeah, largely due to COVID and also some trade market disruptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says disruptions to trade markets leading to lower prices of typically strong sectors such as rock lobsters, prawns, and abalone.
Yes.
So good and bad there, Diz.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rody. Well, what's next on the agenda? I'm hearing black room in the Coorong.
Yes, so I did read this from Wreckfish South Australia. They have written a letter signed by Mick Wilson, who's a friend of the show.
Yes.
Outlining that members have seen in early August, have observed commercial fishers using large mesh gill nets in the vicinity of the barrages as freshwater was released. It's been reported to PIRSA, but we are unaware if they've acted on the information.
Okay.
So, pretty flat about that.
Yes.
So
well, naturally,
naturally
there'd be a very, very large concern there with that potential impact on the Coorong.
And, bream are a slow-growing species, so wreckfish is very keen for them to be protected from commercial netting, if I can get that one out.
Yes, and so they should be. Right, Brody, let's move on from that because we want to talk a bit about something that we have covered in previous episodes, but now we're talking more specifically about the big rotting whale that has been washed up in the mudflats of St Kilda.
I don't know if you saw that Channel 7 reporter on the news.
Yeah, when she was gagging.
That did not look like it smelt too good.
Oh, it would have been horrific.
It's nasty.
I heard her being interviewed on the radio and, it didn't sound great.
So the South Australian Museum is involved in this. So their collections manager, David Stemmer, he seems to be the man for the job.
Yes.
So what's happened is we've got a bit more information from the last time we spoke about this.
Yeah.
And what we can tell you is it is called, I don't even know how you say this, a sei whale, S-E-I.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Anyway, it's the third largest baleen whale after the blue whale and the fin whale. So it's a very special species. It's a first for SA that we've got a specimen. They're not terribly common in Australian waters, but as we spoke about last time, there's a bit of a theory that it ran into by a ship, whether that was while it was alive or after it died. They get caught on the front of the ship and dragged for who knows how long. So when the ship then goes into the Port River, slows down, whatever else, it dislodges from the front of the ship, and that's where it started from.
Okay, right.
So that is the theory. It was first discovered on August 22nd, so that's been about a month.
Okay, right.
So high tides and winds have pushed it up to St Kilda, just near the playground there.
Yeah.
And that's where it's sat ever since.
Yes, very interesting. Well, this will be a great find for the museum. They've talked that they basically, once they've got rid of all the flesh, they're going to take it to the museum for a very long and arduous process of processing.
I think they said it takes 12 months.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
But they're very happy because they've got the skull, the mandibles, they're all intact. So it'll be a great specimen, says Mr. Stemmer, for the museum.
So they're taking it apart bit by bit, and they take it to some factory in Bolivar, I think it said.
Yes.
For it to be sort of dealt with and cleaned up, and
Yes.
then you'll see it at the museum in about 12 months' time.
And the rotting tissue is being used in blood and bone.
So, bit of chucked in with the carp, you reckon?
Yeah.
So they do with the carp, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they're processing that as well. So, look, very, never nice to see a dead animal.
Nah, but it's good to make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Diz, let's keep it local to that area.
Yes.
And what have we got here, Diz? We've got this is interesting, actually. I don't know if you've read this one, Diz.
Well, this is about the mangrove pumping, Rhodey.
It's actually do-it-yourself mangrove pumping, this is.
Okay. So this is a bit of a DIY sort of job.
I never thought I'd see the day. So police have stopped do-it-yourself pumping at St Kilda. So Faith Coleman of environmental consultancy firm EcoPrem said she led 3 hours of pumping, shifting about 18 tonnes of salt to where the miner will be able to discharge it to the Bolivar Channel. So she has said, we've talked about this lady before. She's quite, I thought it was Perry Coleman. Anyway, Faith or Perry, it might be the same person. We got well and truly more done than the government's got done in a year, so that's a bonus. I'd say that's a whack if you ask me.
That's a huge whack.
So they are in some sort of trouble.
Yes. Yeah, the police have got involved.
Yeah, it's a funny one because arguably they were doing the right thing.
Yeah, well, they are trying to do the right thing. That's right. But the police have basically gone there to stop the activists.
And the Energy and Mining Department has sort of come back at this, saying pumping is not recommended adjacent to the impacted mangroves.
Yes.
So they're saying that the best scientific advice is that recent winter rains pose no additional risk to the area and there is no new impacts on the mangroves.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're continuing to monitor the site and say they're doing enough. Obviously, these environmentalists don't believe so.
Yes.
And they raised more than $3,000 on a GoFundMe campaign to hire the equipment and run the portable pump.
Geez, that's pretty substantial funding.
It certainly is.
Fundraising efforts.
Maybe we should get a GoFundMe page up to, take this podcast global.
Yeah, why not, mate? Absolutely. I'm up for it.
All right, Diz, what have we got next?
Okay, Rhodey. Well, we did touch on a subject with wrecked fish more recently, and they've had another one that is very much an important topic to be discussed. And wrecked fish have put something up on their Facebook page titled "Hands Off Boston Bay," and that has been launched basically to create some awareness, and that's specifically in regards to the desal plant over there, Rhodey.
Yes, so talking about a $200 million per annum aquaculture and tourism industry that they're trying to protect.
That's right. They don't want that. They don't want any destruction or any anything to get in the way of the pristine community and environmental aspects of Boston Bay to be disrupted. And so there's essentially been a coalition of science experts, community groups, regional development bodies, environmental groups, mayors, recreational fishing, tourism, and over 80 businesses to form together to make sure that this is being done in the right way, Ready?
Yeah, so it's called the Hands Off Boston Bay Facebook page. That's where you can find all the information. And I do understand, I think that idea of the desal plant was still in the sort of planning stage.
I believe so.
So I think they're hoping to get in before anything's finalised and get their opinion heard.
Yes, absolutely. So find that, follow that, jump on Wrecked Fish's page if you can't find it and get amongst it. Rhodey, let's talk about the rockfish, lobster fishery being opening early once again this year.
Yes, so as I think it happened last year, they're opening it 2 weeks early. So I think it's actually opened a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. I think the 15th of September, which has just passed at time of recording.
Yes.
And this is so those fishermen can get out there, get some rock lobster, and start selling it in time for the Mid-Autumn Mooncake Festival and the China National Day celebrations.
Yes.
So they like to eat lobster at those sort of events.
They do.
So they've decided to open it a bit earlier. So Minister Basham has said opening the rock lobster season early will give our fishers greater flexibility to market their products strategically in response to changing market conditions.
Yes.
So I think that's fair.
I think it's fair. It makes sense.
They've had a hard time with the COVID.
Yeah.
With the the ability to export their lobster. Remember all those lobster went off on the tarmac there?
Yeah.
So I think they're saying they're not letting them take any more, but if they want to take it a bit earlier, they can.
Yes, absolutely, Rhodey. That's a good idea, and I think particularly, like you mentioned, some of those festivals that are coming up are worthwhile things to make sure you're market ready, so to speak.
And that's only the southern zone, I understand.
Yes.
And it's no impact on the recreational fishers that are still locked out until October 1.
Yep.
In the southern zone, and I think it's November 1 for the northern zone.
Yes, that's correct, Rhodey. Okay, let's move on because there's been some fishing restrictions extended at Port Pirie.
Yeah, so we talked about this, it must have been about 12 months ago we talked about this actually.
Yes, I reckon it was.
So the same restrictions will extend for another 12 months, basically.
Yeah. So what, should we just refer the listeners back to the episode?
Yeah, just look back about 26 episodes and you'll find all the right information. But basically, you're allowed to catch and release fish, but you're not allowed to take crabs, fish, shellfish for consumption from designated areas. Mm-hmm. It was put in place in September 2020 after a scientific study into heavy metals found that it was outside of the acceptable zones.
Yes. I believe bivalve mollusks are also not to be taken.
Oh, did I miss that one? Did I? Okay. Anyway, so NiStar is a global multi-metal business, and their smelter at Port Pirie is involved in this, and they're working with the government, local government of the community, to continue addressing this. And there's two sort of zones within the area that have different specific restrictions.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're going to go for fish over there, have a look at those details on the website.
Yeah, look at the zones, make sure you know what you're doing and where you're doing it, and follow the advice.
Exactly right. Don't want to be doing the wrong thing.
You don't want to put yourself at risk there.
Don't want to eat too much heavy metals.
No, it'll be bad news.
All right, Tiz, seaweed.
Oh, we've talked about this a little bit too.
We love the seaweed.
Something I broke a few a while ago.
On news breaking Diz.
It was a very interesting story.
It's all about the methane
And
the farting cows.
Something that it is. It's farting cows. But the Marshall Liberal government has given the commercial seaweed industry a significant boost, Roddy. We're talking 1.5 mil.
So it's a 2-year project to establish a local seaweed industry cluster.
Yes.
Undertaking large-scale cultivation pilot trials, looking at ways of boosting commercial seaweed production, and establishing a land-based hatchery.
Which is interesting because that obviously reduces the effects and the damage that could potentially cause from over-cultivating seaweed, Rhodey.
So it talks about they're already generating more than 105 mil in economic activity in the next 2 to 4 years. They're hoping to grow that to 120 mil.
It's amazing, Rhodey. And it is definitely something. When Minister Basham said that turning seaweed into a valuable commodity may seem strange to some, I'm sure that it seems strange to a very large majority of people. But it is interesting that there is a massive opportunity and there would be a lot of health research going into the area of seaweed and certain, chemicals that you'd be able to extract from them to improve your health.
Well, he went on to say that it can be used in industries such as pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, food production, animal and stock feed. So it talks about the mass production of seaweed also benefits carbon recycling and offsetting the impact of greenhouse emissions.
Yes.
So it's good for the greenies.
It is. It's
and interesting, Diz, pharmaceuticals are in that game. So it's not just for the farting cows.
We might just go down and harvest a few bits of seagrass.
You got a bit of a patch at the back of the pharmacy that we can sort of do a bit of our own.
Yeah, we might start a small scale production facility.
And this flows on to our next one, Diz.
Yes.
So they're now permitting algae to be grown.
Yep.
In the Hardwick Bay area.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it?
So it's a new aquaculture zone to allow that to continue, to start, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they're going to commercially farm red algae in the Hardwick Bay aquaculture zone.
Yeah, so this is something that I'm sure Fraser would be having his head around, given that it was the Narungga Nation Aboriginal Corporation, which basically got together with the Liberal government to be able to commercially farm red algae in the Hardwick Bay aquaculture zones.
Yeah, and it was they reviewed this last in 2017.
Yep.
They reviewed the policy, and it included algae as a prescribed species for a number of Eastern Spencer Gulf aquaculture zones.
Yep.
And Hardwick Bay was not included in this.
Okay.
So they've now added that as another place that can be used.
Yeah, which is excellent.
Certainly.
Brilliant, Rhodey. Well, that just wraps up the news topics for this fortnight.
That was action-packed.
It was action-packed. There's been some ones that have been making news across the sort of media landscape, but then also some that just sit underneath.
And that's where we come in. We just pick out the niche.
We pick out the niche stories.
You know, the farting cows, the do-it-yourself mangrove pumping.
That's right. Who is keeping everybody up to date with the farming cows?
You don't see this on the 6 o'clock news.
You do not. Right, Roddy, this is what we've been waiting for, and I'm sure what the listeners have been waiting for too, albeit that I'm sure they enjoyed the farting cows chat.
Probably enough of your garbage, and they're ready for a real guest.
Let's get Caleb Murray on the line, Roddy.
All right, dears, we are very happy to be joined here by Caleb Murray. Caleb is the man behind Fishing in the Dark. Welcome to the show, Caleb.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Good,
Fantastic,
Caleb.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, and we very much look forward to hearing about all of your fishing adventures, and we'll get stuck into some of the stuff about fishing in the dark and that kind of thing. Let's first start off with, mate, how have you been fishing lately? You've been catching many?
Oh, look, I've been struggling with the South Australian weekend weather a little bit. I work full time, like most of us wage slaves, and unfortunately, the weather gods have been turning on a bit of a poor show for us. So where I've been able to get out, we've been getting out, but it's just been shore based at the moment, and mostly into the sort of the salmon trout. Even the big salmon have sort of not come out and played very much.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, Caleb, we've been having a good look at your Fishing in the Dark YouTube channel, and we shared one of your videos the other day. We love your work. Can you tell us about yourself and how you got into the YouTubing and the Fishing in the Dark channel?
Yeah, look, I've been watching a few different local and international YouTubers over the thing. I know that sounds funny to be watching something from a blind fella, but probably the easiest for people to understand. Been listening's probably a better description. I sort of watched and I noticed that that a lot of these guys they're pretty good at what they do, and they can come across like good on them, but it's sort of they're very expert at their field, and there was just a big hole I seen where there wasn't really much from a blind man, or there wasn't anything from a blind man's perspective getting into the fishing world and getting amongst it. So couple that with a fair bit of encouragement from my family, my friends and my clients, and everyone seems quite impressed when some of the stories I get amongst, and I thought, well, it's probably a great story to share with people and probably enlighten people a bit to the abilities within disabilities.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. And we certainly look forward to getting a few more specific stories in our 5 questions here, Caleb. So we might get stuck into those if you don't mind, and tell us about your best fish.
All right, that one's it's easy but not so easy. So it's definitely involved in some of the first videos of the channel. Earlier this year, I was privileged enough to go out with the boys from Absolute Fishing out from Coffin Bay, and let me tell you, fellas, it was a trip of personal first and personal best. But from that trip, it'd have to be. In all honesty, I can't remember if it was 124 or 126 centimetre kingfish. Was definitely the bucket list fish that topped a lot for me.
Certainly, that must have pulled some string, Caleb. Very well done on that catch. Tell us, mate, what is your favourite thing about fishing?
My favourite thing about fishing is it would have to be the anticipation. Probably because I spend a hell of a lot more time anticipating going fishing than what I actually get to go fishing.
We hear you on that.
It's like a lot of it's just a build up. The build up to a big trip away. The getting all your gear ready. Talking crap with your mates about what you're gonna catch and what might be out there. It's just that whole the whole build up really.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think sometimes that's like half of it. We've got a trip coming up at the end of October, and you just spend so much time thinking about it and getting yourself excited for it, and you plan different things and where you're going to fish and what you're going to do. It's all part of it, isn't it? Sometimes that's just as important as the actual adventure. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, it's the adventure is the kudos at the end where you get to kick back and actually enjoy it. And but yeah, I just love that. I mean, I sort of say to everybody, I love the anticipation, the preparation, the exhilaration of the hookup. You know, the whole lot is amazing. But as I said, the anticipation is just such a bigger part of it.
Absolutely. All right, Caleb. Well, tell us about your first fishing memory, or what got you into fishing.
It's like a lot of guys and girls out there. It's a family story. You know, I come from New Zealand, and my granddad run a big boat out of the Bay of Plenty over there, and so as kids we spent a lot. Actually, he ran a small boat to start with when we were little tackers, and then he got a bigger boat later. But my dad primarily gets all the credit, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been in touch with Granddad. But then out on the boat with Granddad was just an awesome family experience, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And certainly plenty of memories for all of us growing up fishing with the older relatives. So it's a great way to get into it. Anyway, Caleb, what is your favourite sort of fishing and why?
Yeah, I'm really torn between two. I love fishing in the estuary, in the local estuaries, because I get to go and do it by myself.
Yes.
And for a blind fella, that's pretty special to be able to go down and set up your rig and fish off the bank and control it, just have that relaxation, and own it from start to finish is amazing. But in saying that, I'd have to say blue water sports fishing would probably trump it on the amount of sleep I lose in the build up to it. It's what I get really excited about. It's what I love filming. That to me is the epitome of the fishing I get into.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love it. And on some of those trips, or when you've been by yourself just enjoying the fishing and the outdoors, you must have had some funny fishing stories, or if nothing else, one that got away. So tell us a bit of a story about that.
Oh, look, plenty have got away, but the story that comes to mind the most was a whole bunch of years ago. I was surf fishing with my dad and both my brothers, and my brothers used to, I'm the youngest of three, so my brothers used to have a bit of a talent of telling me I was a know-it-all expert a bit too often. And I'd been having a little bit of a gentle barney with one of my brothers and telling them that I knew better. And he proceeded to allow me to sort of, without me knowing, get half spun around in a wave because we had waded out. And I spent the next 10, 15 minutes casting into the sand before he decided to take pity on me and come and let me know that I didn't turn around and cast in the ocean.
That is very funny, but very mean.
That's brothers for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got a brother, and that's classic sibling rivalry there.
All right, Caleb,
Absolutely.
now tell us a bit about your story, mate. So you tell us you grew up fishing and then you lost your vision later in life. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I was 16 when I had a car accident and lost my sight. So, I spent much of my youth was spent out on the boat with Dad and Granddad, and just typical Bay of Plenty style, just hauling a lot of fish. Granddad was a human fish finder, and it was awesome. But my old man's from a big family, and a lot of the time we were out there to put food on the table, so to speak. So it was a lot of skull dragging fish on big heavy hand lines, a lot of bottom bashing for them and that. So when I lost my sight, I loved fishing, but I really didn't have a clue about how to fish. So I had a blank canvas in front of me, and I had to learn from the start. I had to learn how to rig up, I had to learn how to tie knots, I had to learn how to cast, and hopefully not cast in the sand as the previous story mentioned. But yeah, it was a massive learning curve. But I love going fishing. I don't overly like having to wait for people. So yeah, I was determined to figure out how best to manage my hobby and to own it, So and then of course braid come in, and I had to relearn all of my knots. All of my joiners and how to fish it and how to feel it, and then rods went from fiberglass to carbon fiber, or my budget allowed me to go that way, or graphite. So yeah, it's just been a constant learning curve ever since, and it's been something that I've absolutely loved doing, and another big reason why I got into the channels. Yeah,
absolutely, and we love everything you do on the channels, and you sort of mentioned a few things there, but we find it absolutely amazing how independent you are, and that must have been a real journey. And you talked earlier about how this really sends a message to people out there who might have particular things that they need to overcome to get out and continue enjoying your
sorry,
hobby.
Rhoda, now I'm losing you, mate.
You got us there, Caleb?
Yeah, it's just, sorry, mate, it was just dropping in and out a little bit.
Oh, that's okay.
We got you again?
You got us now?
Got you now, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Caleb, tell us about some of the challenges that the punters out there probably wouldn't think about when they do their fishing that you've had to overcome, with your vision being affected.
Look, opportunity would be the biggest one. There's like I explained before, like having to wait for people to get down there, or to get to spots, or to come out fishing with you, or whatever. That's probably been the biggest thing, and that's probably been my biggest driving force for me, learning how to fish and how to own certain spots that I feel are safe enough for myself. It's really just that opportunity. The rest of it is really fun. Like, it's just been fun to learn and try, and you make your mistakes like every angler does, but you just keep at it, and you have those shoulders down moments where you lose a really expensive lure, and you think that you've been snapped off, and you pull it up and there's a curly tail on the end of your line, and you buggered your knot up. You have to admit that and own that as well. So most of it's been really fun. I suppose it's probably easier for people if they're safe enough to have a crack at it. Like, honestly, if you've got a mate there watching, so make sure you're not going to fall in the drink or put a hook through your hand or something, chuck on a blindfold and just have a feel. Like, don't just feel your line in the water, but have a cast. Try baiting a hook, or try tying an FG knot onto a leader. It's even better, try learning that one with a blindfold on, because we all tie knots in the dark, but try learning it in the dark. There are challenges there, but I love a challenge, so I suppose it's a little bit difficult to quantify in some ways.
We might have to give that one a go, Caleb. We'll get out there one day when we're fishing and chuck a blindfold on one of us and see what we find.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a ball. Make sure you take a video of it, eh?
Oh, we will. We'll tag you in it for sure.
I think my FG knot's bad at the best of times.
Funnily enough, I haven't had one of those slip. The one that I have slip all the time for me is the bloody uni knot, and it should be the easiest one to tie.
It's always the way, isn't it? Caleb, watching some of your videos, some of the things that you've come up with or set up for yourself to make it easy and safe for yourself. I saw you had your phone playing music to tell you where your seat and your gear is, a few things like that were pretty smart, I thought. Tell us about some of those ways you've overcome challenges, some of the practical things.
Yeah, look, when it comes to fishing, it's just understanding and understanding what limitations can be broken and what limitations can be bent, and then I suppose which limitations you just have to live with. The music to Find Me Spot it just made sense to me. My wife wasn't real keen on me fishing down the river by myself. She was quite nervous of it, but I'm fairly insistent when I want to be. Look, that one came in handy. As I stated in that same video, like I tend to fish a little bit heavier than a lot of the guys do in the onk.
Yeah.
Just because like guys can walk up and down the bank to land a big fish gently against the bank. I really don't have that sort of ability, so I do tend to go up to more sort of your 20-pound braid. And if I have to put the anchors in and scull drag a fish out, then I've got sort of more chance of landing it. I'd rather get my hooks out of the fish and then let it go rather than have it bust me off and be trailing a bunch of line with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, that's good. That's excellent to hear. And I guess you mentioned a couple of times about, the YouTube channel and the Facebook really getting the message that, and it would be that you've overcome a significant challenge there and it would inspire some others. So I guess we wonder whether you've come across anybody else or you've had people reach out to you on your social media to sort of say that they're also doing this sort of thing now. Have you found any of that?
Yeah, I had a guy in America touch base with me pretty early in the piece when I started fishing, and he's the same. He's blind and he gets out into they call all their fish different names, so I'm not quite familiar with them, but he does a fair bit of lake fishing and that side of things. And I was really touched. He reached out and said he found it inspirational and he was wanting to do the same thing. He loved his fishing, so I think it's the more, like I said earlier, the more the message gets out there, the more people subscribe to it, the more people are going to see or hear it, and hopefully it can drag or help drag a couple of people off the couch, no matter sort of what their background is, whether it's confidence, anxiety, whether it's disability, whether it's just need a bit of a shake up. It's only going to end positively, and I'm all about positive reinforcement with disabilities interacting with the general world. I think there can be a little bit of expectation that everyone should understand our needs and our what we want to be called or said or that. Like I've always had it. I can only speak for myself, but I've always had pretty thick skin, and I just think a lot more flies are caught with honey than vinegar, and I'd rather show a positive note than condemn someone because they call me the wrong thing or because they think that I shouldn't be able to do some of the things that I do. I'd rather show them that I can and invite them to come along and have a crack.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, it's certainly a very inspiring story, Caleb, and it'd be great to, it's a great resource, your YouTube channel, for anyone to, to show to a family member or a friend or something like that who wants to get into fishing but has some limitations. Great way to inspire people about some of the, obstacles that you've overcome to do what you want to do.
Yeah, awesome, mate. That's what I'm aiming for, Rhoda. So, cheers for recognising.
Yeah, and tell us about your channel. So it's called Fishing in the Dark. Where can people catch you? It's on Facebook and YouTube, I understand.
Yeah, that's right. So I run two. The one we're speaking about is Fishing in the Dark on YouTube, which also has the connected Facebook page and a very unused Instagram account. That's not blind man friendly at all. Yeah. And then the Blind Man Can just, I suppose, takes it a little bit further into stuff outside of fishing. So, chuck in Fishing in the Dark, the Blind Man Can, or just my name, Caleb Murray, and it should pop up there. If you're really stuck for a thought, just chuck in a blind bloke fishing, and I think I come up pretty high on the search terms.
And is that your Blind Man Can? That's your other channel. I think I saw you building a cubby house or something. Was that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that one's just sort of, as I say, just takes it a bit further than the fishing. And once the weather warms up, and I'm not going to, freeze myself and embarrass myself, I'll throw in a bit of fun stuff into that one. I think we're going to go. Been out shooting a couple of times lately. Going to go out throwing axes, and then go and do some bit more adrenaline stuff. Go jetty jumping and skydiving and whatnot, and hopefully just get the message a bit further out there.
Good on you, Caleb. Well, you've answered our next question, which was what's on the agenda next. So we really look forward to seeing all of that in the pipeline.
I answered that one a bit further though, Rhoda. I'm on a 7-day countdown, mate. We're on a blue water charter out of Darwin, so hopefully we'll get some big Northern Territory videos up on the channel pretty soon.
We'll certainly keep tuned onto that on the Facebook and the YouTube, and we'll be sure not to miss it because I'm sure you'll get some good fish up there.
Fingers crossed, mate.
All right, Caleb. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show and giving up your time. I'm sure all our listeners have learnt plenty, and great to share such an inspiring story with them.
Awesome, guys. Thanks very much for the privilege of coming on board.
Thanks, Caleb. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Diz, good to hear from Caleb Murray.
What an inspiring person, Rhodey.
Yeah, it was. That was really good chat, wasn't it, Diz?
It was. I'm really impressed with what he's done. I love his stuff on YouTube and across Facebook, and I'm going to get on the Blind Man Can.
Yeah, I had a little look at his video making a cubby.
Yeah, I'll get on that. I mean, I'm impressed.
I'm actually impressed. He can tie knots better than you. He can make a cubby better than you. He's really kicking some goals for a blind fella.
He is. He's doing an excellent job.
And so certainly jump on his Facebook page and his YouTube. It is an inspiring story.
It is. It certainly is.
And he's kicking goals.
Absolutely. Righto, Rhodey, let's get into the fishing report, mate. There's not a huge amount here, but there's some interesting ones which we do want to cover.
All right, Diz, the barrels, I think the weather may have slowed that a little bit.
I think the weather would have slowed the barrels, certainly unless you could have been getting out there midweek. But I just, obviously, we follow Bodie on Facebook and Instagram, and he put a great post up about how over the previous years or his previous trips, he's just would do miles and so much time on the water to really understand the barrels a bit better. Spend some time out there, understanding their movement patterns and all the likes. And it's paid off for him, Rhodey.
It has.
His post said every trip for the last 5 trips, they'd have a hookup.
He's been on a heater.
And he has been on a heater, absolutely. And I reckon if the weather was playing the game, he probably would have had more.
Yeah, if he could get out midweek, if he quit his day job...
So there's something in that.
He wouldn't miss out.
No, that's right. There's something in that. We just need to get down there, learn a few tricks off Bodie and get amongst the barrels.
And you come across an interesting bluefin tuna stat there, Diz?
Rhodey, a recapture. I'm sure you would have seen this.
I did see this one.
Another one that our friends at Wreckfish had broke, but it has been across doing the rounds on social media. But this is a Pacific bluefin tuna, specifically tag number N2012, which was tagged by the Japanese Fisheries Research and Education Agency off the coastal waters of Kochi Prefecture on the 23rd of July in 2012. At the time, it was 23.5 centimetres. Ready?
So we're talking 9 years.
Yes.
And it's just been recaptured and reported from a commercial longliner, a man named Bo Lloyd, aboard Walker Seafoods Australia. He caught this fish in the Coral Sea around 200 kilometres east of the Sunshine Coast on the 5th of September.
Yep.
9 years. What do you reckon it grew to, Diz?
Goodness me, Rhodey. I've got the stats in front of me, so I'm just going to read them out. It was 223 centimetres long.
So it's grown 190 centimetres in 9 years.
Unbelievable.
And it weighed 158 kilos gilled and gutted, so it was estimated around 175 kilo whole weight.
Yeah. And so they did the straight line distance. That was 7,100 kilometres.
Hell.
Unbelievable.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think it is quite amazing as well. Obviously, the Japanese scientists were very happy with the longevity of their tags.
Yes.
And it's quite amazing at the distance covered, the amount grown, and just a fantastic recapture. I tell you who'd be impressed with that, Rhodey.
Who, mate?
Levi.
He would.
He'd be very
Be
impressed.
wrapped with it. And I assume the Pacific bluefin tuna is similar to our southern bluefin.
I would say so. They look similar,
Yeah.
don't they?
Similar sort of shape.
Yes. All right, Roddy. We just want to touch on also in the fishing report this week, just a few little ones that we've been hearing from
Little snippets.
the West Coast.
Yeah, we're heading over there soon.
Because, exactly right, because we're heading over there. So we're certainly not going to profess to be any experts of the West Coast. And I don't think we're going to get to fish Thistle Island, but there has been really good reports of King George whiting from that area. But more specifically about where we are going to fish, the Streaky Bay area has been having some excellent reports of King George whiting, one of our favourites to target.
Yeah.
But amongst other things, garfish, tommies, salmon trout, some of your more likely suspects of those inner sheltered bays.
Yeah.
So we really like that. It's excellent. There's obviously been some challenging weather for us South Aussies.
Yep.
And so we're hoping that weather fines up a bit so we can get offshore and see what the offshore game's like out there.
We're certainly going to nail them when we're over there.
Absolutely. We've also been hearing a few reports of some kingfish.
Early season kingies at Port Augusta and Point Lowly.
Yes.
That's been I've been hearing that more and more the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Used to be Port Augusta this, Port Augusta that.
Yeah.
I reckon Point Lowly is a little sneaky contender for the spot to go.
And I tell you what, if you want to get some stories about how to catch kingies, then get yourself down to the Game Fishing Club dinner
Yes.
this Saturday night. I don't know whether it's too late to register, but we're going to plug it anyway. But they've got a lot going on at their awards night. Alrighty?
Yeah, and Diz, the last thing in our fishing report this week, the blue swimmer crabs are turning up.
Yes, well, we've got a month with R in it.
We do. This would be the first month with R in it of the
Yes.
summer season.
So I'm certainly not going to say that they're like amazing and you want to sort of plan yourself a Davo-style crabbing weekend.
I have heard a couple bag outs though.
I have heard some good reports, some even from the Metro Jetties.
Oh yeah.
Righty.
Yeah, take the boat out local, will we?
Yeah.
Give you a feed of blue swimmer crab and see if we can't end up in the ED.
Why not?
Dizzy's allergic for anyone playing along
Why
at home.
not? Why not? Let's give it a crack. All right, Roddy, but we do look forward to that because catching some blue swimmer crabs over summer is a good sort of afternoon.
It's a good social
Get out on
activity.
the boat, social activity, that's right.
Few
Well, maybe even if the weather's not quite playing the game. Or
Few
you're
light
off on the
beers.
time. Yeah, few middies, a few 4Xs or something like that.
do a bit of speed crabbing. I'm not a fan. Don't mind that.
Absolutely. All right, Roddy, well, that's a good episode, mate.
That's a really good episode, Diz.
Let's just tell the listeners, though, a bit about the merch. Let's not leave them in the lurch about this, Roddy.
Look, similar to last week.
Similar? Okay.
Where
No real pipeline
I don't know.
updates?
Yeah, no, they're still in the pipeline. Caps are coming, new grey ones. They'll be here before too long.
Yeah.
Just waiting on a sample.
Beautiful.
And stubby holders, they're also held up with COVID.
Yes.
So if we looked at sort of, as a nation, what's been the biggest issues to do with COVID? I'd say slowing down our merch has been
Merch hold-ups have
top-
really...
top of the table.
It's hindered our growth.
It has. We'd be like the Mad Hueys or Hamish and Andy or something by now, wouldn't we?
Oh, that's huge. That's a huge call.
Anyway, Diz, another good episode.
Another good episode, Roddy. The listeners know where to find us. You can get us at all your favourite podcast locations. Spotify, Apple Podcast.
And make
jump
sure-
on the Buzzsprout. Jump on Facebook. And as this weather turns, make sure you share your photos, share your trips. If you're planning on going somewhere, especially maybe the long weekend might be when everyone's gearing up for.
I think everyone's got that penciled in the calendar.
Yeah, let's just hope COVID stays away so we can get out there.
Make sure you keep us in the loop, guys.
Okay, see you guys.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.